Did you find the home of your dreams only to realize that it had flooded? Before you throw in the towel and cry yourself to sleep, watch this video and let's go over all the things you need to know about buying a flooded home in Houston, Texas. Before you start shopping for properties, educate yourself on the different flood zones in Houston. There are various different flood zones, each with a different level of risk. So make sure you understand that so you know what you're getting yourself into. There are also places in Houston that flooded that aren't on a flood zone. For example, my own personal property flooded in Hurricane Harvey and it was not in a flood zone. I was there, I drove around the area, I saw which areas flooded with my eyes, and how that can help you is that I can help identify the properties that have flooded that are not in a flood zone. Okay, so we found the property. The next thing is to determine the extent of the damage. So did it get a little bit of water in the property from like a clogged drain, or was it a massive flood event where it had feet of water standing in there for weeks at a time? This is the information that I'm going to collect, and it's important because it affects the structural integrity of the property and also the potential of flood insurance and the potential cost of flood insurance. The next thing I'm going to ask for is a mold remediation certificate. This indicates that a state licensed inspector came in, checked for mold, developed a mold remediation plan, carried out that plan, and then went back and reevaluated to make sure that it was all gone. Most astute sellers have this in their paperwork, so we'll gather that for peace of mind for you. Okay, we are under contract. The next thing we're going to do is get inspections. Some signs of water damage are not visible with the naked eye, so there could be structural damage or mold. So we want to make sure we get licensed professionals in there to assess the structure. We'll get mold tests and also air quality tests to make sure everything is clear. The next step is getting insurance. So flood insurance is a critical step, and it's becoming even trickier lately because a lot of the flood insurance carriers are not providing flood insurance to properties that have flooded in certain areas. So it's really important to make sure you talk to your insurance advisor and get a quote while we're in the option period. You wouldn't be alone if you had a question about how a past flood event may impact the future resale value of your property. Well, it really depends on everything we've already talked about. Studies have shown that after a major flood event, people do flee the area, but that over time prices do tend to increase again. Right now, there are properties that flooded during Hurricane Harvey that are at their peak value. So if we find that property, we're going to go through that process at that time, and we can look at the historical values and see how it has affected the value. Some people think that they can get a great deal on a home just because it flooded. Well, it depends. It really depends. It's just about supply and demand. So we're going to go over the area, we'll go over the property value, and we'll go over the neighborhood, the local market, and we'll tell you whether or not this property is priced appropriately. I hope that answers your questions that you may have about buying a flooded home in Houston, Texas. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy house hunting!